separate topic.
Yeah.
Humiliation.
Okay.
At checkpoints. Let's start with checkpoints because that's the most major thing. Now, this is hard for us to understand. And I say us, meaning Western people.
Yeah.
I don't know how to define that exactly, but meaning I'm Canadian. When I speak to Israelis, most of them don't really get it. The ones who come who are Mizrahi, let's say, do get it more because they come from an Arab culture. So they get it more that in Arab culture, the concept of humiliation and pride, they're huge. That's a big thing. Coming from Canada, we don't really have that concept so much. I mean, of course the word exists and you can be humiliated, but I've been through the checkpoints. I go through Kalandia. I think they think I'm Palestinian because I have a really strange first name. So I use my blue ID when I go through. So they don't think I'm Canadian. They don't think I'm Israeli Jewish, I think.
Yeah.
I've never asked because I don't want to get in trouble.
But you don't really look like very Ashkenazi, so...
Okay, thanks. I'll go with that.
you can fit for both.
True. So when I'm going through, they're definitely rude. The soldiers. So I'm doing through my lens, through my interpretation. They're rude and obnoxious and mean. So that's a Canadian way of seeing it. You see it as humiliation.
Yeah.
So for example, I'll give you an example. I went through with a friend of mine who's an Israeli Arab. He has Israeli citizenship from Haifa. And he said, you don't understand what it means to have to for an Arab man to have to take off his belt for Jews. Now I thought, oh come on, you got to be kidding me! Like we go through the airport, that's ridiculous. That's even racist because it's Jews. It's even worse. Like there's a certain racism in there. But I'm not him. I didn't grow up in that culture where you're constantly being told this is humiliation. And you should feel emotional about it. I never grew up that way. So part of me is a little bit challenging you about it because I've been through the same things. It's unpleasant. But try to explain to me why it's humiliation or why it and nothing bad ever. I was never told I have to stand on one leg. I was never told to do anything inappropriate. So, and I know it's happened in the past for sure.
Yeah.
Explain to me what it means as an Arab. What does it mean? Okay. Humiliation.
So first, I will start talking about the Arab, how an Arab person view the humiliation, and then I will talk humiliation in general. So first, let's talk about how for an Arab person to see the humiliation. For example, let's talk about first about women. They believe in modesty and stuff, and for them, they can't be checked by a man, having touching their bodies and it's not acceptable. So I think that it's their right to ask that a female soldier will check them, for example, even though I don't like the idea about touching bodies anyway. So, but some people will say that it's it's about security and stuff. But let's leave it on the side. For example, if a woman will refuse that she will get checked by a man, they will arrest her. I saw yesterday, I saw in news that the women were handcuffed and she was on the ground by a soldier just because she refused that a male soldier would check her, which I believe it's totally her right. It's her religion, her culture. And actually, I don't believe that. Maybe I don't want to pass the question on you. In a Western community, that a woman will feel comfortable with a man touching her body like a soul.
I'm not a woman, so I don't know.
Yeah,
it's true.
Maybe I'll pass this question to a Western woman. Yeah. So this is talking about Arabic culture. For meals, it's really for example, when I see this nearly every day, especially now in Jerusalem. You will get you will step close to a wall or something, and they ask you to raise up your hands and stuff, and it's really it's really for them it's really frustrating. When you get the ID, I don't want to share my version. Sorry. Okay, so I'm talking in general. So when an Israeli soldier ask you for your ID and they check it on a laptop or a computer, and it says that you have like a clean record, that you have done nothing bad for the government and stuff. So afterwards, and then they check you, no, like like kind of not really aggressively, and then like they start with aggressive questions, like for example, where are you going and what are you doing here, as if like like I'm an alien going to here, and they want to know every single detail, which I believe that it's not their right to just like as long as you got the ID and you have checked me, like why you're giving me a harder time? Like like there like something which I can understand for security reasons and stuff, but afterwards it's become humiliation. When you wait for like 30 minutes or even more sometimes, getting checked, having your body like, for example, like if they ask you like, okay, so where are you going? And you say like, for example, a cafe. So what you're going in a cafe? You feel like, what the hell? Like you have no right to know what I'm doing. Like it's very. They started like to ask you like very personal questions that kind of restrict your right to movement. So for me, this is humiliation. Like like okay, you have checked my ID. I have nothing. Like no good reason to be stopped. So just get off, get away. So for them, like it's really about like like when they give you like that look with harder and giving you a harder time. So it's really like humiliation and not only chicken. So for me, like as a man, like I have experienced something similar, and I feel that everybody, not only it's not about only gender, like everybody when you realize that okay, I've been checked and now they're like just like I don't know, like just having fun, like asking me like nonsense questions and giving me like a harder time and just like restrict my right to movement, my like taking away those like left piece of freedom of mine. So this is a humiliation. Like it has nothing to do with security. Has nothing to do with checking. Like I said like a maximum 10 minutes of checking. You could so like I have nothing. I have what the hell, like it's no knife, nothing, and you have been like looking at me from the bottom to the top like for 10 minutes. It's maximum 10 minutes. Afterwards, this is humiliation, like pure humiliation that I will not accept in any term. Like this is what I call humiliation.
Okay.
So yes, like so I talked about like the maybe like I have to talk about like some more about like Arabic culture for men, like as you mentioned, like taking off your belt. So for example, like it's especially with the women around, like you're taking off your belt and they ask you like to turn around, like it's.
But can you understand that? I mean, there are people who sneak in daily, try to sneak in either a knife or pipe bombs or explosives.
Yeah.
So can you understand from the Israeli why people are paranoid?
Yeah. So I actually, like I said, like that, like I can understand that. Okay, for your security, for your I don't know, like because I actually like I don't want anyone to be killed, to be honest. So okay, like if you giving me like a hard time, not because it's me, like it's because of the situation, let's say. I told you, like, maximum they have the right to stop me for 10 minutes, maximum. But what really happens here, like, it sometimes gets really farther, and it's just like because of the, like this tension between like the Israelis and Palestinians. They just like they want to see you turn around. They want to see you like getting humiliated. They want this. They don't. It's not about chicken. Like as I told you, like I would understand like a maximum 10 minutes chicken, but not furthermore. Not to turn around. Like not to take off things. Like as long as you have touched my body and like you have like done all of these things to me, and afterwards like not satisfied, and you have checked me on the computer, and you're not satisfied, and you just like, and I ask you, like sometimes like I see many people, like many Palestinians, ask them like, okay, like what am I here waiting for? Like, what is the next step? And they said like, just wait. So this is humiliation. It's like I can't get it as security. Like when it gets really far, it's humiliation. It's not security, and it's not.
Imagine a situation
Yeah.
where the soldiers, you're going through the checkpoint in Kalandia,
Yeah.
but the soldiers are Palestinian. Same things happen. Do you still feel the same way?
The soldier is Palestinian,
Yep.
and is doing the same thing.
Yeah, he's doing the same thing.
Yes, like, you know, what the hell? Like, as long as if they're like checking me for security and giving me a harder time, this is humiliation too. So for me, like, it's more. It's not about Israelis. It's not about Palestinians. It's about the act itself.
Yeah.
Like, if someone is really like I don't know, like, just ask you. It's not, you know, like it's not about nationality. If let's assume that it's a person with no nationality, just like asking, like checking you, and he's a security guard or something, and he's just like telling you, okay, like we're like having problems and terrorist attacks and bombs and stuff, and we want to check you, and he checked your ID, and you know that you did nothing, and your bag have nothing to do with terrorism or call it whatever you want to call it. And after like a long time, like he just wants to see you like turn around and wait and go and ask him like, are you done yet? And he said like, no, just wait. This is humiliation. Like for me, like it's not about like nationality. It's about the act itself. This is pure humiliation that no human being can accept.
Do you think that all Palestinians see it the same way? Meaning, I sense that because it's the Jews
Yeah.
or a different people, it's not just because
I'll
Jews,
tell you something.
that it feels harder. It's harder.
Yeah, like,
Because these things happen in Lebanon and Syria when there was
actually,
Syria.
you have answered the question. Like because of Israelis, it's harder. Yes, because of the conflict. Like, it's harder because you know, like first, it's the act of humiliation. Second, it's the enemy.
Yeah.
So for them, like it's double. Like you know, like okay, like you're and the occupation and stuff. For them, it's not only it is like a humiliation, but also like it's like you know they have been like okay, like I'm trying to get to, for example, like if we're talking about international law, like and not okay, so international law says that you have the right to go to East Jerusalem as a Palestinian. So for example, if you want to go to Al-Aqsa Mosque or go to the Old City or to meet friends in East Jerusalem, and you want to have to check to go this checkpoint. So it's first a humiliation when they do all these things that we have been talking about to you. Second, like you have in mind, like you know, like they are talking like about two-state solution, okay? So, and even the land that I'm supposed to go to is, you know, like I don't have the right to go there like freely. I have to get checked and humiliated and checked like and go through a checkpoint in order to go to a land that now they say is, you know, like it's in the Palestinian state. So for me, like it's yes, it's double. It's not. It's humiliation and it's occupation. So it's all together.